Good evening, guys. I said I was going to come on here and talk a little bit about how to make a homemade incubator. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I switched the picture over so you have a perfect view of it. This is the homemade incubator. It's equipped with the lights. You can see inside, so you can see the eggs, and you can see up top as well. So I will go into description a little bit about what goes into this and what you need. So as you can see, you start off with a styrofoam cooler, and the materials that you use is a heat lamp, a temperature gauge. You want the temperature gauge that shows the humidity that's inside of there as well. Mine does not right now. I plan on getting one here in a couple days, but it should be fine. You want really good tape. What I use is Gorilla Glue tape. I have it right here. Use scissors, cut it. The metal grate inside, it's really easy to find at a Home Depot, Lowe's, or any sort of home improvement store. It looks exactly like this, and you just kind of cut it to the size that you need. If you know anything that might be a little bit easier that would hold an egg, the concept of that is that it makes it so the egg does not roll. It's going to stay in place. Use an Exacto knife, some pliers and wire cutters. Okay. The glass are from picture frames. Taken out of a picture frame and just taped on there with the Gorilla Glue tape. And it basically gives the kids a perfect bird's eye view. Now what you're going to do to this is cut out your holes for your windows. You're going to measure and cut out your hole for your light. And you're going to put in ventilation holes. There's also ventilation holes on this side. You're going to have tape because to get to the correct temperature, you're going to want to be able to cover and open your holes depending on what the temperature is. The temperature needs to stay a steady 99 to 100 degrees at all times. If it goes a little bit lower, a little bit higher, it can only do it for a couple minutes without it being pretty detrimental onto your eggs. There is a little bit of water down at the bottom to create humidity. Sometimes it's good to put rocks down there in order to make the humidity a little bit more minerally. That's pretty much the whole getup. Let me think if I am missing anything. With the eggs in general, you want to mark one side of the egg and the other side of the egg. So some say to mark an X on the top and then an O on the bottom. And you have to flip them at least 5 times a day. And by the 3 last days of them being inside of the egg, there's 21 days total. And on the last 3 days, you cannot flip them anymore because they're about to hatch. Last but not least, you cannot put dirty eggs in there. It will create a lot of bacteria growth. But that is pretty much it. As you can see, I wrote on here not to touch, that it's hot, to be careful, not to tip. It is going to be going to my son's school, so I don't want anybody to get hurt. But that's really the gist of it. There's not much that goes into it, aside from watching that temperature gauge. That's probably the main thing. Oh, last but not least, you have to make sure it sits here empty for about 24 hours to make sure you maintain the temperature that you need to get it at before you put in your eggs. So these little eggies will not go in until tomorrow. I'm gonna grab these little eggies of mine and show which ones I might be doing here. So I've sorted out the eggs as to which ones I'm going to be using and which ones I am not. You cannot put dirty eggs inside of your incubator. So as you can see, some of these a little bit dirty. These are not. So that's the gist of them, and they will be going in tomorrow, and we'll be hatching us some new babies soon. 21 days from now. So we'll mark it, and we'll go from there. And next time you guys see them, they will be nice and hatched. From what I've heard, only a few will hatch out of the group. It's usually how it goes. About 25% hatch rate. So I guess we'll see. But that's about it, guys. I hope you got a little bit of information out of this, or at least enjoyed it. Have a good night.